What's up, everybody? Hey, y'all, I love when we're having shady conversations and then the countdown be like 3, 2, 1. Anyways, we are back to another edition of TJF, and we need to really get our name out there and get some good publicity, don't we, fellas?
I thought we tried that.
Listen. We actually need. Listen. Welcome, Al and Funky Dineva. All right, hey, listen, y'all.
Let's get into it.
Shady ass conversation.
Who knew?
You know what we need to do? We need to start posing like questions of the day, and just so y'all can be in on the joke. Me, Al, and Claudia, we were just talking about somebody that we commissioned for a service. And we paid the person, and we paid them good money, and we just ain't never heard back.
Ain't never heard nothing.
And they got our money.
Hey, what do you think they got done with the money? I think they got their teeth whitened. What you think?
She would have got a massage.
Vacation. It was enough for a vacation.
Is people still spending all their money on bundles and wigs, or is that old?
Yeah, we are.
Okay, well, some bundles.
Well, I guess we're gonna.
Well, look, she was smart. She hit that lick once, right?
Yeah, she did. She hit it once.
That lick once.
Because it wasn't enough for us to call the police or take her to court.
Right. She hit that lick.
Oh, no. Have y'all ever paid outside of that for something and then never got your services?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And you want to know what's funny too? It's always a friend, or like a friend of a family member, somebody that's going, oh, Q, my girl, she started a travel business. Book your next excursion through my friend. And then I'll be like, oh, okay, give me a friend. And she'd be like, all right, we doing the cruise in the Congo next year. You just got to put down 500. And it's like you put down the 500, and then friend ain't in the travel business no more. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, who got my money? But then it's all this, I gave the money to Virgin Cruise Line, so if you want to go still, you can go through No, bitch, I paid you. Where's my money?
I feel like that's the business model of lawyers, Claudia.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I paid all this money, and do you really get everything that you pay for? Like, if you win, yes, right? If you win, yes.
I find those lawyers, and I've been pretty good at this, that will work on a contingency, or they'll take it from their winnings. Like they'll take the case if they really think they're going to win. That's like to me, that's like the only way it's worth it. Because if they're just billing you, it's in their best interest to just draw it on out, take a losing case, and be like, oh yeah, I got you. Mm-hmm. But anyways, I want to know in the chat, have y'all ever paid for a service and you didn't get what you paid for, and what was it? Because I think that'd be kind of fun to read some of those remarks. Mm-hmm. All right, y'all, we kind of jumped into it because we having one of our little offline conversations. We're here to spill the tea and break down the biggest headlines in the news and on social media. So sit back, relax, and get ready for this hot tea. Are y'all drinking tonight? Because I am. I had to do it.
I'm going to dinner with my friend Larnett after this, so I'm saving my alcohol for that. I'm gonna be very honest. I am. Since my foot's been down, I haven't been going to the gym. I stopped my testosterone therapy. So I lost a little bit of weight, a little bit. I'm looking forward to, like, once I can get back in the gym tomorrow, getting back on my regimen. And I promise y'all, I'm trying to unlock my better self. This is me being for real. In a perfect world, one day I would be at a place where I'm only doing beer and wine and maybe like a martini.
No, please.
Or two. I well, no, for real. I do want to get there, and only because at 40.
Were you at the bar last night?
No, I was home. Okay. I was there Sunday night. I am trying to circumvent health problems from when I get older. You know what I'm saying? So it's like,
Not to freak you out, Funky, but we've had several alcoholics in my family, and I visited a couple of them in the hospital, diabetes, having to have toes amputated and a lot of that. And some of them were thin. Some were obese and some were thin. And that alcohol, after a while,
It can do to you.
That liver. Just that liver, right? Liver and kidneys is what you're talking about. Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm drinking some vodka, some Ciroc. Shout out to Diddy. Good luck. And some lemonade. And Al, you drinking tonight?
No. But I'm telling you, by the end of the week, I will be back to my wine. Trust me. I'm just waiting for the doctor to clear me.
All right, let's get into the show because we about to get cussed out. Marcus Houston has been catching some heat after saying that his biggest flex is marrying his 22-year-old wife. When the pair got married, Marcus was 40 and his wife was 19. Now, Lyrica Anderson came to his defense and wrote, he waited until she was grown before anything. And now they're both grown and married with a family. All right, y'all, do y'all think 19 years old is grown? Like once you hit 18, that's it? Or are y'all the kind that's like, well, you're still kind of a kid? Al, what do you think?
Listen, if we're talking about what's legal, this is legal, right? I think the whole issue with us is what was going on before she became legal and how much of a relationship did you really have with her? We know that she's a runaway, right? I think that's what we learned in this story, that she was a runaway teenager and that they met through the church, through his manager, Chris Stokes. And then, you know, the whole Chris Stokes thing is a whole nother issue, whole nother child molestation allegations surrounding this. So I think it's less about her being 19 and more about what and when did the relationship actually start.
So the groom, I won't say grooming.
Well, you don't want to say grooming, but that's what it appears.
The courting maybe, or maybe the friendship starting. And okay. Right. All right. Q, what do you think about this?
I thought about this as we were reading it, and I have to go with my heart on this one. It feels wrong. I'm sorry. I think back to when I was 19 years old. At 19 years old, I still had a book bag on my back. I was walking up somebody's hills, up somebody's campus. I was still going to class. I was still depending on my daddy to deposit $40 into my bank account for my weekly college allowance that I got from home. 19 is still a child. It's still a child. 21 is still a damn child, okay? You got off on a technicality, all right? Just a year prior, she was watching the equivalent of Saved by the Bell in high school, all right? And I refuse to believe that he had no type of romantic or sexual interest in her prior to 19. And then, bam, her 19th birthday came along and a light bulb went off that said, ooh, I like her. You know what I'm saying? Second thing is, I'm sorry, there is absolutely nothing a 40-year-old and a 19-year-old have in common. Could you imagine what that conversation is like at dinner? What the hell is an experienced, seasoned 40-year-old talking to a 19-year-old child about?
Now, they do say that women or girls mature much faster than men. We do know that. I will say this. Yes, legally, he did nothing wrong. He did not break the law, and he's definitely well within his rights. If you know what, he waited to not even 18, but 19. I know Marcus, I'm actually cool with him. I know he's a devout Jehovah's Witness. And my sister actually is one as well. And they snatch him up young. They snatch up those wives young. And then it's kind of a controlling life, I think. Like, it's not big on pushing you to be educated and have your own career. And I actually was worried about like I said, my sister about that. Like, you're kind of you're a wife to be a breeder, kind of, you know? I think morally, like, you know, it's like, it's creepy to us, but he's not breaking the law. I have mixed feelings on this because we don't really know when he met her, right? People say he met her when she was 15. It's the circumstances around when he actually met her. And
but again, we're not stupid. Right. All right. We ain't damn dumb. She didn't just turn 19 and you were like, oh, I like her. Like that's not how like works. Right. You know what I'm saying? That's not how attraction works. All right. You know what I'm saying? I'm speculating here, but you were saying, hello, Sister Williams. Looking good today, Sister Williams. All right. You going to Piccadilly at the church, Sister Williams? Can I walk with your Sister Williams and pass out some of them pamphlets in front of the grocery store this week, Sister Williams? Oh, you need a ride back to the church, Sister Williams? I'll give you a ride back to church. So how's school, Sister Williams? You know what I'm saying? Like there's a buildup to you knowing that you want to marry somebody. And I'm pretty sure it started before she was 19 years old. So
what's the youngest y'all would date at y'all ages now? Before you feel like it's weird, like,
So, you know me, my rule is if we could have been in high school together. So that's 4 years, give or take, in any direction. I'm willing to amend that to 5 years. So I'm 40. I'm not going below 45. And that's only because my experience has been people who are any more than 5 years younger than me can't keep up intellectually or lifestyle wise when we're sitting around talking about, yeah, remember the glory days of 106 in Park? I need you to know what I'm talking about. When I say, man, I used to walk home to catch Free and AJ on 106 in Park, I need you to understand and not be like, who is Free and AJ?
Right.
Well, I'm gonna pull a Jennifer Williams. I'm gonna go 30.
You would date a 30-year-old?
That man got a smile on her face that I have never seen. And I've known her for a long time, right? Since the 2000s. Who would have known, right? So originally I said 10 years.
Is her man 30 years old?
That's what they're reporting. You should ask the soulmates. They know. From what I understand, her new boyfriend, future fiance, is 30 years old, and he's got a smile on her face that I've never seen on her face before. So I'm
at 30, you bring that hard D. It's consistent too. We all know hard D at 30. And I think younger men really try to really impress older women. They're like, I'm a man, I want to show you. So they kind of really put in that work. So you would say 30, Al, because we and you are around the same age.
No, I was joking. I'm just saying they seem so happy. I think realistically, I would go as low as 35.
35, okay. Yeah, I'm with Q as far as the generational things, because I remember having a conversation with someone that was 12 years younger, and it was really weird because the things I think are old school are not old school to them, and then you feel really old and you're like, And as I've always liked younger men, but as I've gotten older, I actually find older men sexy and attractive, as long as they don't have erectile dysfunction. Okay, moving on. Rapper.
What are you saying? You saying older men got erectile dysfunction?
Shoot, younger ones do too, with their badass eating habits, smoking them Black and Milds all the time. It's very common these days.
Not me, girl.
They don't just be the old ones now. Okay, rapper Azealia Banks recently threw shade at Diddy. She wrote, "Can we also stop pretending like Diddy has done anything for hip hop or Black people? Think about it. It took 25 years of stealing, doing drugs, and getting drunk to just now have cracked a $1 billion net worth. And what's he got to show for it, Carisha?" Azealia also called Diddy out for allegedly coercing Black artists into sexual acts to blackmail them. What y'all think about this? And have you heard those rumors before?
I think Azealia Banks is lame as shit. And I just think it's real lame when you can't be in my industry and come for me and I'm doing better than you. You just can't. You can't. You cannot try to come for me and then you're trying to read me on, okay, it took me 20-something years in the game to crack $1 billion. But baby, you ain't cracked a pecan. You know what I'm saying? And it's like you worse than Joe Budden. You're a failure at music, and then you come and do these rants and these diatribes online unsolicited, and you ain't even getting nothing for it. Who asked you? Secondly, we're all on this whole women empowerment thing. Why did Carisha have to catch that stray bullet?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? She might not be everybody's cup of tea. And yeah, if your parents vacation in the Hamptons, they might not be proud of you being with a Carisha, but Carisha is somebody. You know what I'm saying? She's somebody, she's got it on. And first, Carisha's got the career that Azealia wish she had and wish she has right now. Now, here's the thing. Up under all of Azalea's shade, there be some tinges of truth.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because the shit hit me right here. I was like, oh, I've been hit. You know what I'm saying? But it's it's the messenger. It's the messenger. And it's just like, Azealia, what gives you, we don't even know what you do at this point. So yeah, Azealia, you might want to be more concerned with paying rent in your little 700 square feet apartment in New York and leave people like Diddy and Carisha alone, mama.
Okay, Al, I know you're a huge Azealia Banks fan. You have all of her music.
I said her skills. Let me tell you something. I'm sorry. When I saw this, I was like, this is why I work on a show called TGIF. All I could say was, damn, damn. She took the gloves off on Diddy today, and all I can say is damn. It's a discussion that we cannot pretend like has not been going on for 3 decades. She rolled out all the he say, she say, hearsay, and she let it all out in the open. It's stuff that everybody else has been tiptoeing around, have been wanting to say, have inferred. But she just said, you know what? This is how I feel today, and I'm letting it all out. And she brought facts. She brought receipts. She brought court documents. She brought testimonies from the block. I'm exaggerating. Y'all know that, right? But she really did, put stuff out there that has been a discussion around his career for a long time. But this is the deal. Diddy is a marketing genius. And whether he's got failed music ventures, whether he has failed business ventures, or even if he has failed relationships, he is still considered a cultural icon to us. Now, this is the deal. He's been great at getting away with this for a very long time. I think the next 10 years, though, is going to be a telltale onto what he actually has built. Was it built on sand or was it built on concrete? So I can't wait to see and witness it.
This is a case to me of 2 or 3 things can be true at the same goddamn time. Azealia Banks is 1000% a hater. She says things about people that she wishes she had a career of. That is a fact. She comes for people. She has no career that we could admire and say, she's proven herself. Does she have talent? I guess. I've heard she does. I can't name one song, but I can name videos of her cooking cats. I can name videos of her hating on other people in the business. But I got to also give credit where credit is due. She also, I think because she's already burnt the house down, she has nothing to lose when it comes to the industry. She can say these things and be like, well, I was invited to the cookout anyway, so I could just say it from the comfort of my 400 square foot apartment with the remnants of cats' spines and skulls. And I can say what I got to say because, half people are going to think I'm crazy and the other half, people that know. She did say some things that I 1000% have heard myself from people in the Atlanta scene and people in the music industry for a very long time. And some of the people who have spoken out against this stuff are no longer with us. I'm going to say that right now. Some of the people who have spoken up on this same stuff have met their demise. More than one. Could these be rumors? Could it be coincidence? It can. But she's saying some things that we've heard. And I will say this. It seems like the walls are starting to close in on certain people in the business. And things, like Al said, the next 10 years, we're going to see. I hope some of the stuff isn't true because it's horrific, demonic stuff. I hope it's not. But again, I think she's a tad bit crazy. And I think where there's smoke, there is some kind of fire. But I also will say this. What I cannot take away from Diddy, you are not about to come for a man and say, oh, you're just barely getting to the $1 billion. That is a humongous accomplishment in America. So get the hell out of there with that. Like, let's give that man his props when it comes to that. Like, that's not an easy thing. I think because we hear the word billion so much, we think it's easy. That's 1,000 millions.
Talking about giving props, Claudia, what's up with that diamond necklace you got around your neck?
Girl, we got to go to commercial. But really quickly, this is the only other issue we got with Diddy, with Azealia. You had marbles in your mouth when you was on Wildin' Out. And you were simply called ugly, and you started crying. That's all I got.
That's right. Whew. Maybe, I don't know. We'll see what happens. Coming up next, find out what situations has gotta say, not me, girl. And later, a school bus driver accidentally drinks alcohol on the job. And she was so sad about it. Keep it here. We'll be right back.
Freedom. It's at the core of who we are. The freedom to live without fear, to jog where we please, to wear a hoodie. The freedom to breathe. Before we celebrate the freedom most Americans have, we must fight for the freedom all Americans deserve. Because all lives can't matter until Black lives matter.
You're not going to get it all right. Just make sure you nail the big stuff. Like making sure your kids are in the right seat for their age and size. Get it right at nhtsa.gov/the-right-seat.
You did not just tell me about the word Riz.
Riz.
Oh,
I gave y'all free Riz.
McMillan and Mara.
When you want to meet a woman or meet a guy, say something about the space.
Yeah.
And see how they respond.
Every Thursday.
Because if the person can't respond to an observation about the space that's clear, you talking to a dummy. Or someone you might take home, but not to your mama. And you know what I'm saying.
This one's for the real ballers and shot callers. The sisterhood of women in tech. They're discovering cures, building apps, and programming the blockchain. They're CEOs, worldwide hustlers who can make it rain. They're tearing down the old boys club and seeing big gains. Because when women in tech come together, you know they make that change.
If anything happens to me, I got 5 journals hidden throughout my place, and my people know where they are and all my tea, because, you know, I be teasing y'all a little bit, but I got some tea.
Give me the code to the safe. I'm
gonna get both y'all
diamonds.
Good.
All right, listen, we pretty much hear crazy stories every day that got us saying,
Not me, girl. Not me, girl.
all right, y'all, we know people don't play about their Greek organizations, but did this teacher take it too far? Now, a 7-year-old child came to school wearing an AKA shirt, but she came back home in something different. The child's teacher allegedly took offense and took the shirt from the little girl. The teacher said AKA shirts are reserved for members only. I do remember the parents saying they thought the AKA meant, like, also known as. Okay, do you think the teacher had a right to take this child's shirt, or is it a not me girl? Q, I see you grinning over there. Let me go to you first.
It's definitely a not me girl. Okay. Now it goes without saying, I'm Greek, I'm an alpha. Al's a Kappa, but I'm sure Al's probably going to agree with me. The urge and the desire to want to take the nail off of the child definitely would have been in me. It definitely would have been in me. Just like if I would have met up with you, Claudia, and you had on a shirt, I'd have been like, girl, you got to take that off. You got to take that off. However, my duty as a teacher and as an adult would have superseded my loyalty to being Greek, and I would have the human part of me would have kicked in and said, maybe this family can't afford clothing. Maybe, there's this is a child, and hands down, you don't have the right to confiscate anything from someone else's child, nor take it off of the child. She sent an email to the parent explaining whatever. That's where I would have started and stopped. And I think the email would have sufficed had the parent understood. This is a simple situation of someone not understanding. And to be quite honest with you, it's not the parent's fault and it's not the child's fault. It really is the fault of another AKA, because somehow or another, your shirt ended up somewhere where a regular consumer or a Goodwill bin or something, versus burning it, discarding of it in such a way where somebody else couldn't get it. It was just all wrong. And in my honest opinion, it brings embarrassment to the organization, and it further cements this notion that people have, or this disdain that people have for Greek life that don't understand it.
Good points. Al, you're you're Greek as well. What do you think about this?
Yeah, I think I'm a probably disagree a little bit with you on this. And you guys know I've had 100 jobs, but when I was in college, I used to be a substitute teacher. And so I did substitute once, and a child was wearing paraphernalia. And as a Greek, this could be for some extremely offensive, which I completely understood. But this is also like Q, I don't know if Q was saying this, but this could have been a teachable moment for me. I would have asked the child to remove the shirt, but I would explain to the child the offense that it's having to people that are of that organization. That's number one. I think the age is an issue here. I think the teacher was great for sending the email, but keeping and taking the shirt is where she kind of parted from me in how I would handle things, right? I would have definitely sent the shirt back home with the mother, folded up. I would have left another message to it. Let's talk, let's discuss why this shirt was taken off your child. I found it offensive. Other workers here find it offensive, or whatever the case may be. That's the only thing that I would have done differently. And in this case, you know, I don't think it has anything to do with the color of the child. I think it's just whether that child was black or white. I think that particular teacher would have behaved the same, and I know I would have behaved the same.
For me, it's a not me, girl. This is what I take away from this. You're a teacher. Your job is to teach and not to humiliate a little kid. You could have taught that kid that lesson without disrobing that child. I think that's very traumatic to a child to do that. I couldn't imagine if someone that's not my parent told me to get up out my shirt, and then they took my shirt and put me in something else. Again, how did the child get that shirt?
Mm-hmm.
You know,
well, we change kids a lot. We change kids. Well, I know that I worked in a school system where you change kids a lot because some kids wear very offensive shirts. Like little white boys will wear a KKK shirt.
Okay.
And you can't have that disruptiveness in your classroom, especially if you are a teacher or a person of color. You can't just say, "Oh, little Johnny," you don't really know what that means.
I get that.
So
but
I think.
I totally understand what you're saying with that. I get that. But like an AKA shirt is more like I won't say it's paying homage to, because I honestly don't think they even knew what it meant. I think they thought it was AKA, like also known as, because these are some little white kids, the family, they probably had no idea what it meant. I think you could have like given a lesson and taught the child what appropriating means and, you know, kind of stepping on toes, and then sent the child home, and then the mother could dress your own child. That part bothered me. But
so,
I'm not a great, so you know.
I want to hit the chat really quickly. So Brital 14 says, snatch that child's letter like a perk. Miss Reese 7488 said, I would have had that whole school named after my child. You lay one hand on my child. And Natasha Williams says, you don't touch anyone's child. And lastly, Miss O said, it's sad that a grown woman could be offended by a child wearing a shirt.
That's not true. Just like I said, I've been in the school system. Some of those kids, they wear KKK shirts. They wear those rebel flags. They are very, very discriminatory and racist in some of the stuff that they wear. And sometimes you just have to know, and school systems support you pulling that child aside. Maybe this teacher should have gone to the principal and asked for more administrative leadership.
Al, I think it's apples and oranges. I think KKK shirt is hands down unequivocally known across the world as a no-no. I think AKA for a lot of people is the equivalent of adults being in the Girl Scouts. You know, a lot, especially people who are not Greek oriented or college oriented, they're just like, child, this just some little social club y'all signed up for. What's the big deal?
So if someone was misrepresenting their membership into the Girl Scouts, and a little girl that wasn't in a Girl Scout, or a little boy that was not an Eagle Scout but had on an Eagle Scout shirt, are you telling me that they're not supposed to follow protocol of that organization's membership? And like you're supposed to say, oh, okay, you know, we'll let this slide. I think there could have been a better way of addressing it for sure, but still there are people that are offended, and you have to take that into account as well.
I agree. Be offended. You can be like, hey, you're not a member. You didn't earn those letters, but taking the shirt off the kid that's, I think, where we have an issue. We have a comment that says, that's like seeing a homeless person with the shirt on, which happens before they sell them at Goodwill. And we don't know that kid. Maybe that was that kind of situation, which is super embarrassing. But you know what? Hopefully we'll follow up if there's any updates on the story. A preacher convinced a church member to take off her panties and exchange them for prayer panties in an effort to help her stop being a prostitute. Watch this clip.
And by me touching them and helping you pull them on, and the way we do it, this will help. So you just keep that in mind. Step in the knee. Okay? Put your leg in. Yeah.
Do you think this was a holy gesture or not me, girl, Al?
Not me, girl. Is this in Florida?
Don't bring us into it. Y'all always trying to bring Florida into shit.
This has got to be Florida. The way that twang was in that pastor's voice. Is this Florida? You know what? This is, I hate when these type of topics come across our topic list because I know that, this leaves credence for people like fucking Claudia to say to me, see, I told you so. I don't know. This is just a poor representation of the Black church. It's sad to watch too. And I think it's safe to say that holy panties are not going to deliver you from a life of hold'em.
And the sad part is, Al, the video, we didn't show it here. He was like, all right, now hold on. No, let me pull them up on you. Let me pull them up. Yeah, like that. It was just creepy. And you know what? We know that church leaders can have the same level of authority and mental control over people as bosses, teachers, police officers, and whatnot. In my opinion, this is a crime. In my opinion, he used his authority or his religious influence over this woman to sexually assault her. All right, there is nothing. I don't think you would find a TD Jakes or a Yolanda Adams on this planet that will co-sign a prayer panty, which actually look like them things he gave look like them plastic panties that you put on people who pee in the pool, or that you put on over their a prayer panty.
It looked like the period panties that people are wearing now because they're too lazy to put a pad on. First of all, I am so sick of people abusing religion and people's belief systems that really believe in these people, that feel like they really do, speak the word of God, and they're the connects, I guess you'd say, right? And using their power. This guy was totally making all kind of inappropriate noises like a total pervert. Oh, yes. He was way too into it. First of all, a male TSA person wouldn't even touch a woman. They get a female to get over there and do it. If you really was that concerned about her and you weren't trying to get your own little freak on, you would have had a woman go bring her somewhere private, not embarrass this person out in public. Like, who? Disgusting. It's a not me, girl. Disgusting. Mm-hmm. Jason Edmonds said, Pastor sniffing the hell out of those bloomers. All right. Coming up next, a school bus driver accidentally drinks on the job. That's why you got to get into entertainment. Ain't no accidents. And later, Chrisean Rock may stop responding to trolls sooner than we think. Oh, for real? I hope so. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
You did not just tell me about the word Riz.
Riz.
Oh,
I gave y'all free Riz.
McMillan and Mara.
When you want to meet a woman or meet a guy, say something about the space.
Yeah.
And see how they respond.
Every Thursday.
Because if the person can't respond to an observation about the space that's clear, you talking to a dummy. Or someone you might take home, but not to your mama. And you know what I'm saying.
I think it's just vapor with flavor.
It won't hurt my kid like cigarettes, right?
Vaping is safer than smoking, isn't it?
There's really not even that much nicotine in them, right?
My kid?
My kid knows it's dangerous.
Get your head out of the cloud. Today, nearly 8,000 kids will start vaping, maybe even yours. Learn about the dangers at talkaboutvaping.org.
Worried about your friend, but don't know how to reach out?
You could say, how are you, or get a fake tattoo. You could ask with an app if it works for you. You could chat with them in VR, it's so good. If you think you should check in, yeah, you should. Whatever gets you talking.
Reach out to a friend about their mental health.
Whatever gets you talking.
Learn how you can help at seizetheawkward.org.
TGIF.
Al and I, battle of the cleavage. Who got the sluttiest shirt on tonight? I say Al wins.
Live and interactive.
Curvy girl said, Claudia's showing us her white side today. Coming to work with her wet hair. No, I had to do a test in a pool today.
Serving up all the tea.
Funky, how's the dating life going?
It's going to the next thing.
No, the homies want to know.
I'm Oprah and Stedman. Y'all will never get my real business. So
on Fox Soul.
Real quick, I just want to just give shout out to the soulmates in the chat. They're like loving. They're like, yes, the dynamic trio is back. I miss the energy. Like they're so super happy that we're all together. It's almost like a divorced couple got back together, and the kids are like, hey, mom and dad are back together.
Well, hopefully nobody else needs surgeries, and nobody else have to leave for extended periods of time. So I'm gonna wait till next year to get my other foot done, y'all. Y'all be all right.
Oh, you're gonna do the other foot, right?
The other one is very minimal. I'm deciding. It's very minimal.
I heard they.
Y'all want to see?
No.
Let's see. Yeah, let's see.
See, this one ain't that bad.
No, you need to fix that one too.
Oh, you need to put some lotion on that foot.
This one ain't that bad. So
ain't there humidity in Miami? What happened?
On to the next thing, Claudia.
Down south feet he got.
It's the Sahara Desert.
We're talking about my foot, not your cooch.
Oh.
We're talking,
It's dry right now, but it's tight. You say the same.
I have a man. Can you say the same?
Well, it's easy to get a man when you settle.
I have a man.
Claudia got a man.
Huh? Anyways, okay, I miss you, little bastard. Okay, listen, hey y'all, charging higher interest rates is how banks make a lot of money, and they take a lot more of your hard-earned money if your credit score is just okay, but not great. ScoreMaster, the new science in accelerating credit scores, puts you in control of your money, not the bank. Now, say your credit is 650 and you're borrowing 500 grand to refinance your home. Starting at ScoreMaster could save you over 75 grand over the life of your loan or more. Now that 75 grand is your money, not the bank's. Now that's the genius behind ScoreMaster, especially with soaring interest rates. They are so high. Look, today was like 8% for a house. It only takes a minute to get started, and you can add 30 to 100 points on your credit file, depending on your situation. So before you apply for any loan, auto lease, or credit, start at ScoreMaster. Go ahead and visit scoremaster.com/T to try ScoreMaster for free. That's right, for free, y'all. Visit scoremaster.com/T. Scoremaster.com/T. Listen, I've said it over and over and over again. It was a big part of me getting my house. And, they send you reminders. They let you know when things are affecting your credit score. And fellas, I'd like y'all to speak on your experiences with it.
We always talk about the positive and how it helped you, but just recently, full disclosure, I had to help somebody out with something, and so I put a substantial amount of money on a credit card for somebody that took me over my 30% threshold, and sure as cow stuff stinks, I got my little notification from ScoreMaster saying, your credit score has dropped or whatever. And it's like, and it told me, I knew why, so I wasn't tripping out, but it told me exactly why. It showed me what I needed to do, how much I needed to pay, and when I needed to pay it by to get the score, back to a place that me and the system was satisfied with. But you guys, this is a good tool to help you navigate your spending. And like I said, sometimes your credit score may drop and you may not even know what to do. In this instance, I know exactly why. But if I did not, thanks to ScoreMaster, I know exactly what I need to do to get my stuff back to where I'm happy with.
That's right, Al.
Yeah, the one thing, and we've talked about this, I don't have a car. So the thing that I am learning as I'm looking through ScoreMaster and trying to figure out what my credit needs to be to get a good interest rate is ScoreMaster has a complete separate section for your car, your auto credit score. You get a separate credit score for your auto. I think it's called your auto score. And 90% of car lenders use that score. So I think it's brilliant. I think it's a great enhanced option on ScoreMaster, and we should all take advantage of it, especially if we're looking for getting in a new vehicle.
Absolutely. When I was out of town, I didn't have auto pay on the last car I got. And, your first payment is always like weird. It's never 30 days out. It's like a weird. So I actually was late being off the grid, and ScoreMaster let me know my credit dropped substantially, but it also gives you tips on how to start getting it back up. So please, promotional consideration furnished by ScoreMaster. Let's get back to some topics. All right, y'all. School bus driver was fired after being caught drinking a White Claw on the job. That's where you went wrong. That stuff is nasty. 60-year-old Amal Hana claims she did not realize that White Claw contained alcohol. She also claims that her chemotherapy treatment makes her unable to taste alcohol. Do you think this was an honest mistake, Q?
I do. I was heartbroken. As somebody knows, grandma, dad, and mom all passed to cancer. I've seen the chemotherapy journey. And the fact that this woman still had to have a physical, laborious job while going through chemo is sad in itself. Number two, she drives a bus with children. Y'all, if the lady was purposely trying to drink alcohol, she would have concealed it in a damn 7-Eleven cup, or she would have went and got some type of branded cup and poured the alcohol in it. The fact that the lady was drinking the alcohol within eyes views of other people is evidence of the fact that she did not, recognize, or like she said, she could not taste it. Now, here is the thing. I'm not a lawyer. I didn't get a degree. It's sad that she was fired, but I would imagine legally they had to. You're a transportation company transporting people's children. It opens up the company to so much liability. They had to fire her.
Okay. Al, what do you think?
Yeah, I agree with Funky, and the community have stood behind her. They said that she worked there for 15 years, that she was a very well-respected bus driver, that they got along with, and that she cared for the kids. And after just listening to her confession, it lets me know that, something, if she knows better, you don't have that job for 15 years, you don't have a stellar rating for 15 years, and then something like this just happens because you've been doing it all along. I agree with Funky on this. It's just sad. And the school system had to let her go, especially after it was exposed. And she admitted to it.
Hot Commodity 77 says, she could have made an honest mistake, but I think they have the alcohol percentage on the can. Now, I've only tasted a White Claw one time because one of my mixed friends came to one of my cookouts and brought a whole 6-pack. I thought they were the nastiest drink I ever had in my life. And I immediately put it down. But I actually had no idea that they were an alcoholic beverage. I thought it was like a seltzer. I'm learning this right now, that there was alcohol in White Claw. Have y'all had White Claws before?
I've had it. My mixed friends down at the bar with the Honda cars be drinking. And to her defense, you're not going to tell me the packaging does give energy drink.
It does.
It does give energy drink. Production, put that up one more time if you can. It's giving me off-brand Red Bull. Her being a bus driver, I can see her running into a convenience store or a gas station. She's going through chemo. She probably was feeling sluggish. I could see her saying, let me get something caffeinated to drink. And based on her voice, English is not her first language, and America is not her first culture. You know what I'm saying? She probably just thought it was an energy drink.
Ooh, Tam B. Dan has a good point, though. That might have just shut all of us down. White Claw is in the alcohol aisle. How do you not know? It's not.
Yeah, it is. But you know what? So is Coca-Cola, and so is Peanuts, and so is Red Bull. You know what I'm saying? They're all side by side in the coolers, especially if they're up against the wall, and especially if, listen, things happening. You got to pick the kids up at 2:30. It's 2:21. You just trying to get in real quick and grab something, y'all. It can happen.
Yeah, I agree.
I hope there's a GoFundMe, because a woman going through chemotherapy who's lost all her hair, who obviously has health problems, should actually be relaxing and focusing on recovery and not having to drive these badass kids around and drinking nasty ass White Claw.
Yeah, and then hopefully, because she was fired, she's going to lose her health insurance. That's what was really bothering me, was the fact that this incident, and she's going through chemo. We know how expensive chemo is.
If anyone has a link for if she has a GoFundMe, let us know. Put it in the chat, please. All right, y'all, keep it locked, because coming up next, Chrisean Rock may stop responding to trolls sooner than we think. And later, social media dissects a babysitting job listing that I could not believe she really tried it. We'll be right back.
Freedom. It's at the core of who we are. The freedom to live without fear, to jog where we please, to wear a hoodie. The freedom to breathe. Before we celebrate the freedom most Americans have, we must fight for the freedom all Americans deserve. Because all lives can't matter until Black lives matter.
TGIF.
Al and I, battle of the cleavage. Who got the sluttiest shirt on tonight? I say Al wins.
Live and interactive.
Curvy girl said Claudia's showing us her white side today. Coming to work with the wet hair. No, I had to do a test in a pool today.
Serving up all the tea.
Funky, how's the dating life going?
It's going. Going to the next thing.
No, the phonies want to know.
I'm like Oprah and Stedman. Y'all will never get my real business. So
on Fox Soul.
This one's for the real ballers and shot callers. The sisterhood of women in tech. They're discovering cures, building apps, and programming the blockchain. They're CEOs, worldwide hustlers who can make it rain. They're tearing down the old boys club and seeing big gains. Because when women in tech come together, you know they make that change.
My mom wanted my life to be better than what she had as a kid. When I became a mom myself, I feel like my whole world changed. You don't have to be a climate scientist to want to protect the earth. You always want the next generation to have something better than what you had.
Oh, always our soulmates are so on top of it. Erica Luck says the GoFundMe name is Amal Hannah for the bus driver. AmalHannA. If y'all want to, put a little something on her books and maybe, help her out there. All right, y'all. Chrisean Rock said once she reaches Kim Kardashian status, she will no longer be addressing people on the internet. One person wrote, "You won't even reach Kim Parker status." Someone else, Baby. Someone else said, "If you're going to reply for the rest of your life, just say that, ma'am." Damn, they're so mean. What are your thoughts on this? Al, you had a nice reaction to this.
Well, it's great aspirations. I think it's cute. It's cute. But the truth is, she'd be glad to be on any of those Kardashian standards. I don't know. I think it's great to have aspirations. I think Chrisean knows exactly what to say and how to say it. The difference is, Chrisean, the Kardashians really don't get into that much trouble. Now, they steal men. You steal cars. I mean, so you might want to change your business model a little bit if you want to get on that level. But I'm never gonna fight somebody or degrade somebody for having career goals.
That's right. Okay, Funky, what do you think about these goals?
I mean, listen, I want Chrisean to speed up her timeline. I mean, quiet as it's kept, there's no reason why she can't implement this policy now. For what it's worth, she's Black people famous. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're already, I can't believe I'm about to use this word, but you're already, I was about to say icon. You're already a pop culture staple and a figure. There's no reason why you can't implement this policy now. Sis, don't defer your peace. See, we need to be encouraging her. Don't, Chrisean Rock. Girl, you don't have to wait. Stop comparing yourself to women that's white adjacent. Don't do that. You a strong, independent Black woman. You could be that now, sis. You can stop responding now. We set the standard, honey. We don't follow behind those men chasers. Start your standard now, sis.
I would want to see Chrisean evolve and win. I really do. I mean, I've definitely had some things to say about her baby daddy because I'm just not here for him or his mama. I think there's just severe issues mentally and just the way these people think and move, and they're disturbing. Okay. I never seen a mama act like she want to screw her son so bad like this one right here. I'm sorry. That's my opinion. It's not a foxhole. And Chrisean, you know, despite how the baby daddy is saying he didn't want this baby, he got you pregnant and y'all made a baby together. It took two, not one. So y'all both made this baby. And I really saw there was a time when she was kind of being strong for a short amount of time and not really giving Blueface any energy. And she seemed like she was kind of chilling a little bit. And it seemed to be like a good place for her to be. And I agree with you, Funky, both of y'all. I think she doesn't have to wait for that. If you start tapering off now, every once in a while, maybe take your page offline, I think you have a lot more peace in your life and a lot less things. But I will say this, I do know, because I'm an addict as well. Social media is extremely addicting, and so are the accolades. We put a picture up, and we want to hear what they have to say, and tell me I look good, or just go trending. And I know it's extremely intoxicating, but a lot of people rock with you, Chrisean. A lot of people don't, but a lot of people do. And I think if you focus on that, it'll be a little bit easier for you to stop clapping back. But what do I know? I'm 50, I still clap back, so shit.
Claudia, we got 3 comments I want to hit real quick. Darius Daniel says, somebody please close Chrisean's Dell laptop.
I saw that. I'm not reading that.
Okay, and then Hard
I like
said,
that.
why is Kim Kardashian a goal for Black women? How about Michelle Obama? Get it together, young ladies. And lastly, Rosemary Watson said, if she gets that high, it'll be for the wrong reasons.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Well,
she is charismatic, and she's, and she got the youth in a chokehold though. Like that's all people talk about is that whole group.
Yeah.
All right, y'all. We'll see. The world's first space hotel is set to open in 2027. The hotel will float above Earth's atmosphere and will have room for 28 occupants at a time. Are you here for this, Al Reynolds?
absolutely. I'm fascinated by this. I what they said 2027. So that's what, in like 4 years. This is something that I would be willing to do, but I would have to make sure that all the kinks are worked out. Because what if you have a 911 emergency or something? Like, how are they going to get you from space back down to the hospital? I need to have more details, but it definitely reminds me of the Jetsons, that episode where they opened that new that new hotel. So I'm here for it.
Al, have we not learned anything from the submarine busting on itself? It just felt. I'm not me, girl.
I'm here for it.
You know what? I'm not going to pretend like my curiosity is not piqued. Like, now here's the thing, Claudia, because you're the explorer of the group. You would have to go first and then like come back and tell us about it. Yeah, you would have to go first and come back and tell us about it. But
she gonna work a deal.
Right. Work out a deal, get an endorsement or something. But I will say this, morally, I feel a little conflicted, right? Because I'm just like, there are so many places that are non-inhabitable in the US that we could inhabit for much cheaper and create luxury, like the hood of Detroit, you know what I'm saying? Like the projects of Chicago. There are just so many other places that we could create lush places for people to inhabit that are easily accessible, for us to just be overlooking Skid Row and going straight to space. Morally, that's a little conflicting for me.
Right. Part of us is like, it's amazing we have this technology. We should take advantage of the advances that we've made in our technology. But then on the other hand, how many times a day do you see a homeless person? And we know the cost of one of these things could probably solve the homelessness.
The whole homeless problem.
I don't know. I wish we could do a little bit of balance where it's like we do these exploratory things and like things that advance our technology that are amazing, but we also kind of build a skyscraper or some projects or some buildings or some housing for people that have no place to live. All right, y'all, coming up, social media dissects a babysitting job listing. Was she trying it? We'll find out when we get back. We'll be right back.
My mother was always very familiar with her neighborhood, but one day she stopped at the stop sign for much longer than usual, and she didn't know whether she should go forward or turn, and she wasn't even really sure where she was at. It was very unsettling for her.
I felt so much better after my son told me, "Mom, I don't want you to worry or be afraid. I'll be there for you, and we'll figure it out."
You did not just tell me about the word Riz.
Riz.
I
gave y'all free Riz.
McMillan and Mara.
When you want to meet a woman or meet a guy, say something about the space.
Yeah.
And see how they respond.
Every Thursday.
Because if the person can't respond to an observation about the space that's clear, you talking to a dummy. Or someone you might take home, but not to your mama. And you know what I'm saying.
This one's for the real ballers and shot callers, the sisterhood of women in tech. They're discovering cures, building apps, and programming the blockchain. They're CEOs, worldwide hustlers who can make it rain. They're tearing down the old boys club and seeing big gains. Because when women in tech come together, you know they make that change.
There was a time in my life where I was extremely homesick. I decided that I needed a pet. When I first saw a turtle, my heart was full. He jumped up and kissed me and jumped right into my arms. I immediately went up to the volunteers at the shelter and said, I want him. He's got to come home with me. Now I'm anything but lonely. Every day with turtle is a perfect day.
Welcome back to the show. Hey, soulmates, don't forget to hit that like button in the chat. We appreciate y'all. All right, y'all. Take a look at this job listing, looking for someone to babysit 4 young kids. Must be a great cook and avid cleaner, over 25 years old. Minimum education would be a master's degree. No social media accounts. No drinking, no smoking, not even vaping. No tattoos or piercings. Need 5 professional references. Background check and drug test will be conducted. This job pays $200 a week. They also must run most of the mother's errands. Is this person doing too much? Q, go ahead.
Get off my line with this. This is not even real. Whoever posted this is somebody who posted this